Hey, Stewart's Chapel, this is Don Pearson and Don Counts, and this is February the 1st, Tuesday, February the 1st. And we're continuing our look in the devotions in the presence of predators. And yes, 2 days ago, we started with the 4 types of wolves. Now, you may have your own categories for these. These are the categories I'm using. Yesterday, we started our look in Proverbs 7 and Proverbs 19:20. I would encourage you to look there. I read that all yesterday. I'm not going to read it today, but if you go back and look at Proverbs 7, basically the whole chapter, and then one verse out of Proverbs 19, verse 20, we're going to talk today about the basic strategy of a seducing wolf. The seducing wolf, the basic strategy. Now, before I do this, my wife and I have had this conversation a few times. A good dear friend of mine, a friend of many of yours, who's now with the Lord, Gary Williams, and I would have the same conversation many, many times in the past. Unfortunately, I've watched this wolf prey a lot. Now, it is true that most of the times I've watched it, it is like it is in Proverbs, of a woman that is preying on a man. But I've also seen the other side. I have seen where there was a man that was preying on a wolf. Now, remember that the only way this wolf is able to prey on you is because your heart is not satisfied where you are. And when this wolf finds, and they'll go around, it's like a bass fisherman. A bass fisherman that fishes a lake all the time, a same lake, they know that certain areas they'll get more bites or strikes. But that doesn't keep them from trying a new area. And what they'll do, they'll file it away in their mind where areas that they've had consistent strikes and areas where, well, nothing happened. And a smart, wise fisherman will go back to the same place where they've caught them and where they've had consistent strikes, because evidently there's an environment down there below that surface that is conducive for the fish to be, and the fisherman has discovered that. Well, that's what a seducer does. A seducer wolf is a fisherman. They go out casting their bait, and they may throw it out to a whole bunch of places, men and women. And they throw it out until they get a strike. And when they get a strike, they discover, okay, there's one over there. And they'll camp out there until they catch that one. Well, look, if your heart is right, you're not going to fall to the wiles and the ways of this seducing wolf. But what are their strategies? What's interesting by the Proverbs chapter 7, 1 through 27, is that Solomon spends a lot of time talking about their strategy. First of all, they know where and when to hunt. And it basically is everywhere and always. I mean, she's in the open court, she's in the alley, she's in the twilight, she's in the middle of the day. I mean, she's out all the time. They know where and when. They find their places. But they also know that when they may be expose themselves in many, many places, but when they're ready for a capture, they're going to find a private place to do that. They're going to find a place where you're vulnerable, around the alley someplace, around that valley. I started to talk about Gary Williams and I and my wife's conversation. Unfortunately, I've seen this at work. I've watched it with my own eyes. My wife and I have watched it while an individual preyed on another individual. Whether it be a man to a woman or a woman to a man. Watched it several years ago. I received word. I don't even know how this individual got connected to me. They weren't in my church or anything. But this individual let me know that they had been preyed on by a seducing wolf. this individual had answered a call to the ministry, and I had heard about him, but I didn't really know him. Had answered a call to the ministry, had a wife and several children, and this seducing wolf came in and started tossing out her bait. He grabbed a hold of it. He went all the way with it, to the end of the fact that he lost his marriage, he lost his children. And when she was done with him, when this other woman was done with him, she left him for another. Well, as it so happens, my path crosses another minister. This minister had been pastor in a church in Huntsville area. And lo and behold, I listened to the story unfolding about what was happening to him. The same thing happened. And it was the same wolf. It was literally the same woman. And as I did my homework and found out that this particular seducing wolf was targeted pastors, young men that were going into ministry and pastor, and he would destroy their marriages and their families, as she did with those two, and then many, many more. They're everywhere. They know where to hunt, and they are everywhere and always. They know what to wear. They know what to wear. Listen to verse 10. It says, and there a woman met him with the attire or the clothing of a harlot, but with a crafty heart. She knew exactly what to wear. She knew exactly how to dress in a way that would be enticing. Men do the same thing. Women do the same. These wolves are seductive. They not only know where to hunt, when to hunt, they know what to wear. Every hunter knows. Most fishermen will all wear basically the same thing, same kind of glasses, same kind of hat, same kind of clothes. Hunters will do the same thing. When we're on the hunt, we know what to wear. Well, she knows what to wear, and so does he. The seducing wolf knows to be aggressive. They know when to be aggressive and when to be calm. Verse 13. So she caught him. She just reached out and grabbed him. She got him in a corner. They're off to us. If you follow it, she's got him off into a quiet place. And it says she grabbed him. She just grabbed a hold of him. She kissed him. They can be very aggressive. Every one of these that I've ever met become aggressive. They will become very aggressive and very possessive, even though that's not their possession. But once they get you, oh yeah, everything else in your life is gone. They know what it offers. This wolf knows what it has to offer. Listen to verses 16 through 18. 16 through 18. I have spread my bed with tapestry, colored coverings of Egypt linen. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until morning. Let us delight ourselves with love. They spent a lot of energy in setting the trap for their prey. They know what they are offering, and they offer it freely. They know how to be convincing. Verse 21. With her enticing or convincing words, she caused him to yield. With her flattering lips, she seduced him. They are very convincing. She said things like, well, you're the only one. You're the one I've always been seeking. I've always loved you. I love you more than any others in your life. Extremely convincing. And she knows when you are caught. I hope you don't have this in your life. I hope that this lesson will be this. I recognize by doing this lesson that to some of you, you've lost spouses to this. To some of you, you've been the prey to this. Some of you are in the midst of this. But all of us need to be aware that there is nothing innocent about this wolf. This wolf is not innocent. This wolf is not weak. This is probably one of the strongest of all the wolves. Very, very much aware everything they do is intentional. Beware of the seducing wolf, for when they catch you, you'll be like a bird caught in the fowler's snare. You can't get out without help. Love you, Steers Chapel.